it's Holly from hollyrovinger.com and thewomansinnercircle.com. And today we're going to talk about making a logo for your website. Now, traditionally in the past, people have gone to a graphic designer to design their logos for them. But with Canva, they have made it super easy for us to design our own logo. So I'm going to take you step by step through the process. A few things I'd like to have you keep in mind before you start designing. Do you have colors for your website? Do you have colors for your brand? And the same thing as far as fonts. Do you have certain fonts that you use on your website? Do you have certain fonts that you use for your brand? Because you want to consider that when you're designing your logo as well. The other thing I would suggest is to search the internet so you can find styles of logos that maybe you like, or perhaps you've seen something that you want to have on your website. That would be wonderful for you. That would be a logo that you would just love looking at. And the other thing is you can go to Etsy and search logos there. I hopped over to Etsy.com and I just typed in logos. And this is a good place just to scroll through and say, do you want something simple like that? Do you want something with a floral or graphic in it? Do you want something colorful? Like you can see, these are quite colorful, those logos, and some are just magnificent in their simplicity as well. So decide, what kind of logo do you want? I think if you have an idea ahead of time, it will be much easier for you to design yours. Look at this one. Look how simple that is, but it is elegant in its simplicity. And that's something that you can do for your site as well. If you're doing a city, for example, you can put the name of the city and the state underneath and use two different fonts. You want to keep in mind you want to use only usually two fonts, maybe three at the most, and I would not use a ton of color. I would use, two or three colors at the most, or keep it monochromatic. Just keep it with one color. So you can see this one, what it is, does it imply to you? To me, it kind of looks like a little bit of a candy store, right? It does look really sweet. So Sweet Collective, those are good colors for that particular logo. So take your time, scroll through here, and then once you have an idea of what kind of a logo you want to create, come back to Canva. And if you don't have a Canva yet, just come to canva.com, sign in, and set up your account. And once you're in Canva, this is the home screen. And right here it says, what will you design today? And we're going to type in logo. And I'm going to first show you here the simple way to do this. Once we've typed in logo, which is telling Canva this is what we want to design today, we make sure our cursor is there and click enter or return. And then what you're going to see are all different samples of logos right in Canva. Now, if you see something that you're absolutely in love with, you can just click on that and then modify it from there. Never copy somebody's exactly. That is really one of my pet peeves. You can use these as inspiration and ideas for how you want to have your logo, but do not copy anybody's exactly. So let's go back up here and let's say we just want to create from scratch. So we click on create a blank logo. Now here we are and we see we have a blank, but over here, and let's see if I can hide myself. I'll put that over there. You are going to see a lot of different logos right on the side. So these can definitely give you inspiration for what you want to create, or you can just start from scratch. Now, if you want to use these as inspiration, for example, let's say I wanted to do my name, okay, and my initials. So I'm going to take that. Now, this part here, the way it's curved, I want to show you that in case you do want to do something in a circular format. You click right here, or effects, you would click on that and you can see it is outlined. The effect of that is a curve. And underneath this bar will let you change how the curve goes. So this will make it tighter. This will make it looser. So you decide where you want your curve to go. And if you ever make a mistake up here, you just click the undo and it should go back to normal. So let's say I want to do this, but I do not want to copy them. So maybe what I would do is take this and move it here and put it in a different place and go to the effects and turn it around. And you have to really play with this to get it exactly where you want it. So I would just keep stretching it until that, maybe I want it out there. That got to where I want it. And perhaps this is not what I want, but I'm using this as an example. And that would stretch my name around. Now, if I needed to change the font, turns out Railway is one of my fonts, but let's say I wanted to change my font, I would come over here and I would choose whichever font is part of my brand. So for example, I use a lot of Playfair Display, so I could change it to that. Now let's say the inside, I don't want the dot. And I don't like that at all. So I could come over here to elements, or I could go to text. And what I want to show you is, you see all these different text combinations. You can feel free to use them. So let me just take that out. I just clicked on delete and let me put XOXO in there. And I would drag and drop it. And then to position that, you come to position, center, middle. And I could leave that there. But maybe this is what I want to put in the corner here. And move it over. And then in the middle, I want to go back to text. Now remember, you can use any of these as part of your logo and just put your name or your city, your state, whatever you're working with, put it in there for your logo. And then let's say I want to put, we'll just put a big H. And again, if you make a mistake like I just did, I would just click around. So let's say I did that and I could double that, bring it here, and change that to my last name, Holly Rovinger. And let's say I wanted to do this in script. So I would come here to that font, and on the side here, I could type in script, and it would show me all the cursive fonts that I could use. If you see this little crown, all that means is it is for Canva Pro. So if you're a pro user, you can use that. If you are the basic user, you can use it, but when you download your font, you will be charged for it. And it won't be a lot. So you can feel free to do that as well. But let's just try that. That's pretty fancy. And let's do that. And move that around. And now, let's say I really don't want that. I don't like the fact that the circle is open. So let's say you want to put some elements in here. And let's look at flowers. And you want to look at graphics. So you can scroll down and see, is there anything in here that you'd want to use? And perhaps if these were my colors, I would be happy to use those. And I would, at that point, I would take out the XOXO. But there is, I could move this and move that, but there's a simple logo that I could do that I took my inspiration from one of the logos on the side, but then I completely changed it. So that was simple, right? But let's take this a step further. I am not in love with this. I would not use this on my website. So I want to make a few more edits to the logo. So I would click on duplicate, which I've already done. And here it is again. So what I'm first going to do is change the color of the text. And my brand kit is right here. I'm going to change it to that. And I'm going to do the same thing with each of the letters that I put together. And another thing I want to do is move that and have them, let me move this over. Just see the loop together just to make it a little more interesting. And then I'm going to click on the image or the graphic, and then I'm coming up to edit photo. And I can change that to quite a few different colors. So you scroll down and you find which colorway you like that suits you the best. Here's a very bright one. That's not my colorway, but it may be somebody else's. It's very nice and really would capture the attention of the viewer. That is more my style. So I would do more purple there. And that's okay. I also would want to change the color of the circle to more of a gold. So that's not bad. Still not exactly what I want. So let's keep fine tuning it. Remember, we can edit the fonts. We can change which font we want by coming up here and then looking at our fonts. We can change the color of anything by clicking on what we've done. And here's where you'll see the color. And I can change the color. Now, if you have a photo on there, I had the pink flowers, you will always see the photo colors, which is nice in case you want to match them up. You can change the color of a circle or a graphic, and you can edit an image. So there are a lot of things you can change, even though we started with inspiration from a particular design. So let's come down again. And what I did here was I kept my initials the same. I will delete it to show you. So I took out that, and then I came to elements, and it will show those that I've recently used. And I put this one in. And then I can size the element or the graphic to whatever size I want. So I just wanted to connect to both ends of the circle. And then I can pull it down. I can move it over. And there you have it. Just another variation on the same logo. Now, another thing I want to do, let's get rid of that. And let's put some stars in. This is not something that I love for myself, but perhaps it's something that somebody wants to do. So I would end the circle with an element or a graphic, and then I would double it, put it here, and for the sake of design, I would make that a little smaller, move it up, and then one thing I will tell you is with design, you want 1, 3, 5. You want an odd number. So I'm just going to duplicate that, put it here, make it very small, just so that I have 3. And that's another way I can customize the logo. And the last way that I wanted to show you is I went in and I searched gold. And if you put in gold, rose gold, gold glitter, silver, you'll get a lot of different types of elements and graphics. And I wanted to put something in there with some gold. So I'm going to go back because I have what I used. I took a half circle, and you see how it's going in a different way than my circle. I clicked on it, I clicked on flip, and I click on flip horizontal. And then I'm going to pull it out. And here is where I can change the angle. I can pull it over. Let's see if we can get it to connect to the circle a little bit. Sometimes you just have to have a lot of patience and play with your design until it gets to where you want it to be. So I would pull that out and perhaps get it whereby it fits on the bottom, and then pull it out a little bit and then pull the whole thing out. So it would meet like that. And that doesn't look finished. So then what I did was I took another gold flashy star thingy. I guess I don't know what else to call it. Flashy star thingy in gold. And I added that. And I like that better. It just added a different feel to the logo. So once you've created a basic logo, you can play around with it. Remember, you can change the font or the style of your text. You can change the color of your text. You can change the color of elements. You can add and subtract elements, and just enjoy this creation of the logo for your website. Now, one other thing I do want to show you is, let's go back to our logo. Here's the templates, all the different things we can choose. And let me find a blank. Here we go. Here's a blank. Let's pick a style. And I just want to share this. And I just want to share one more thing with you about using these for inspiration. It's a great starting point for creating your logo. So let's find something a little different and a little more here, a little more colorful. So see what happened when I clicked on that. Not only did it fill in my canvas here, but then underneath they have similar, sort of similar vibes or similar feel templates for you to choose from. And the same thing will happen if we choose something. Let's go back to our original templates and let's pick something like we had done. And you see how it clicked over, and now we're just seeing that kind of vibe, that kind of style. So feel free to scroll through and see if anything really just gives the vibe of what your website is about. So start with this, play around with it, create your logo. In the next video, I will show you how to create one from scratch. But remember, with any of this, you can edit your text, change your fonts, your colors, add elements, subtract elements, and last but not least, you can change position. So like here, I have this here. If I wanted to move it here, I wanted to move it here. Or if I had something with a position, let's come down. Let's put an element in the middle. Let's put some sunshine in the middle. And let's say we sized it like that. If we wanted to position this somewhere else, we would click on position. And if we wanted it in the center and the middle of the canvas, we would click on that. We want it at the bottom, if we want it at the top, left, and right. So position is your friend when doing this. And when you're ready to share, so let's say I wanted to download this, what I would do is come up here to share, click on it. Now this is page number 6. I would click download. And here, I don't want all those pages, so I unclick it and I just click the current page, page 6. Now I want it to be a ping. If you want it to be transparent, you would check transparent and then you would click download. And if you have chosen a pro feature, one of the elements or one of the fonts, it will just charge you for it. If you have pro, see how it's telling me I'm saving $1. You wouldn't have to pay it. So I hope this helps you with the beginning of your logo design, getting it started and getting it downloaded. And of course, depending on which theme you're using, you want to find out the best size for your theme and then resize your logo. If you are in Canva Pro, you can resize it right here. You would just click on resize, tell Canva what size you want. Do you want a custom size, which you probably would, depending on what your theme is for your site. And you would just fill that in, click continue, and then download that. Any questions? Feel free to reach out to me. Thanks, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.